Hello guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ruby and this is actually my first ever video. I'm feeling a little bit nervous. I thought I would make my first YouTube video the BOOKTUBE newbie tag, just so you could get to know me and I can put myself out there and kind of explain why I wanted to make this channel and, you know, share my love for books with you guys. And if you can hear a purring in the background or you see a little menace, I have got a little kitten with me and she's very naughty, so if you hear or see her, sorry, but she's quite cute. But before I do that, I thought I would just give you a couple other bits of information to introduce myself. So obviously my name is Ruby, I am 21, I live in Australia. I'm actually about to turn 22, so that won't be valid. It might not even be valid by the time I put this video up because who knows how long it will take to edit. I am studying teaching full-time. I work as an SSO, so basically a teacher's aide, if you're not familiar with SSO or ESO or whatever, throughout the week. And I barista, I make coffees at a cafe on the weekends and throughout the holidays. So I'm pretty busy and reading is just my wind down, my hobby, my everything. Anyway, let's get into the BOOKTUBE newbie tag. The very first question of this tag is, why did you start this channel? Basically, it's pretty easy, pretty simple. I love books. I love books, I love reading, I love collecting books, I love researching books. I just love books and I love the book community. I've been part of the book community in terms of I am an observer. I watch, you know, lots of booktubers that I really enjoy, and I thought, you know, why not get involved? Like, I've wanted to for so long and I just think it would be a really good hobby for me, like a creative outlet. Reading and talking about books is something I'm very passionate about, and it would just be nice to be part of a community where I can share my love for reading, my thoughts on books, and, you know, have people to have that discourse with. Like, it would just be lovely. But also I just think it's fun, like it's a nice hobby. Our second question is, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to YouTube? So I'm not really sure how to answer this question because what's fun and unique? I don't know. I think being in Australia, for one thing, there's obviously some creators out there who are from Australia and talk about books a lot, but far less than Americans, I feel, or at least I've experienced in my own subscriptions. So that might be of interest to you. I think that what I can bring to YouTube is kind of showing people who are busy, who have tight schedules, who maybe study or work 2 jobs or whatever, that you can make time for things you love. You can make time to read, you can read a lot. And also you don't have to read a lot. It's okay. It just takes some time to do things you enjoy. But really, I hope to see where it goes. I'm kind of hoping that my creativity flourishes through this because I get a bit stumped sometimes, so it'd be interesting to see if I can come up with anything cool or interesting. I don't know, we'll see. Third question is, what are you most excited about for your channel? Honestly, I'm just excited to be doing something that I've been excited to do, if that makes sense. Like, I've thought about it so much. I literally have dreams about making BOOKTUBE videos because I just love books and I'm like wanting to share that with people or that sort of thing. Our fourth question is, why do you love reading? I don't think this will come as a shock to anyone that reading is a form of escapism for me and I love that. It's something I do to relax. It's something that I just enjoy. I love just immersing myself in different stories and finding myself enchanted by different worlds and characters and plots and all those sort of things. I also have found that in the last year or so, when I've gotten really into reading again, that it's actually helped me manage my anxiety a little bit better, which I think is incredible. And so for me, I don't know, reading is just something that makes me really happy and content, and I just really enjoy it. Some people might like watching movies. I personally can't pay attention, but I can sit down and read a book. I make it make sense. I don't know. But basically reading is it's just relaxing and enjoyable for me. it's my calm, it's my happy. Question number 5 is what book series got you into reading? I'm going to actually change this to what book got me into reading. But I've been reading since I can remember, really. I've always been pretty interested in books and reading and all that sort of thing, but definitely kind of dropped off in high school, and then after high school didn't really read very much until probably 2 years ago maybe. My best friend bought me, I don't know where I've put it. My best friend bought me Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton, and it was just the book I needed right then. I was going through a lot and experiencing new things, and I think having that book just, it spoke to me on a different level. And also Dolly Alderton's writing is just incredible. I love her writing. She's now one of my favorite authors, and I very much love all her books. But yeah, so after reading that, I was kind of like, just that helped me get back into the habit of reading every day, and it just kind of took off from there. So thank you to my best friend and to Dolly Alderton for opening up my eyes again to the wonderful world that is reading. Question number 6 is what would you ask your favorite booktubers? This is a weird one. I don't really know. I have quite a few booktubers that I like. I think I would just ask them, like, do you actually remember every book you read in a year? Because I've never read as many books as I have this year before, and I'm like finding that there's a few books do I remember it? Not really. But yeah, I think that's probably what I'd ask them. Just, do you remember the books you read within a year? Obviously after a little while we'll forget them, but yeah. Our 7th question is what challenges will be the most difficult with YouTube? And I think the biggest challenge for me was initially just deciding to just go for it and have a go, but definitely editing. I feel like I'm well out of my depth with editing, but it's something that I'm going to learn, so be patient with me if it's not very good. And if you have any tips and tricks, please let me know. But basically, yeah, just editing I think would be the biggest challenge. But I'm excited to start learning. Our 8th question is when did you start reading? Like I said, I can't really remember a time when I wasn't reading. Obviously, yeah, I'm not sure. I remember being in junior school and running to the Go Girl books. If you're in Australia, I think they're Australian, but it's like just a series of girl like books, I don't know, but I'm fighting over them. So I've always been pretty into reading. I want to say year 5, definitely. I know I was reading a lot in year 5, and then read quite a bit probably as a younger student, and then throughout probably year 10, 11, 12 is when it kind of dropped off a little bit. I still think I read a couple books here and there, and then again still maybe 1 or 2 books, 3 books even, after I, like, for a couple years after I finished school. But definitely, yeah, picked up in the last couple years, but it was probably pretty young I think I was reading. Not really sure. Question number 9 is where do you read, which I find quite funny because I don't know, it's very boring for me. Most of the time it's there on my bed, because I live at home with my family and there's a lot happening all the time, so peace and quiet is on my bed. I actually also house sit quite a lot for people I know that happen to be going away. They, you know, being 22 and not having a house or whatever means that my partner and I often end up house sitting. So I also read a lot on other people's couches or beds or whatever when we're staying there. But yeah, mostly just in my bed, which is quite boring. I'd love to get a reading chair, but I do not have the room in my bedroom right now for one. So eventually one day when I move out, I will have a reading chair, mark my words. You will see. Our 10th and final question is what kind of books do you read? And quite frankly, I don't even know what to tell you, because I feel like I read everything from YA to thriller, mystery, literary fiction, romance. I'm definitely in my fantasy era at the moment. I am loving fantasy, which was such a shock for me because I'd never really read any fantasy until this year really, and I've like decked out a whole bookshelf in fantasy books already. Behind me you'll see one bookshelf, and I think, yeah, we've got my Sarah J Maas and mostly just classics and literary fiction. So I just read a whole plethora of everything, but definitely fantasy is where I'm kind of leaning towards more so at the moment. Alrighty, so that brings us to the end of this video. Please, if you liked it, leave me a like. That would make my little heart jump, I think. It's so weird. And if you want to chat books, or if you have any tips and tricks on editing specifically, if you have anything you'd like to ask or say or whatever, please feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully there's more to come.